Stand by for action. Anything can happen in the next half hour.
A very, very good evening to you and welcome along to the fastest aviation show on YouTube. Of course, you it's Stu Bear and it's Air Show World. For the next 60 minutes, stay with us. We got some great action coming up for you. And to start things off, one of the favourite aircraft of the display scene. Here it is, the brilliant Catalina.
Yes, it had a very interesting last year, didn't it? In the autumn of last year, she suffered an engine failure whilst operating on Loch Ness in Scotland and unable to take off. She was actually rescued by the Loch Ness RNLI and in due course lifted off the water to a safe haven beside the loch where an engine change had to be carried out in the open, and after several weeks she was able to return to... That's the wing, so they actually tuck up to form the wingtips, don't they?
Correct.
And they're down as floats, which is an amazing design feature. And you can see that boat-like keel, can't you?
And also, people may have noticed that that's where the wheels are tucked in as well. And of course, they're all designed to keep everything high to stop that salt water penetration.
Yeah.
I
had the pleasure of a flight in her from Duxford a few years ago, and there's just so much space inside. You could throw a party there, and of course with those great big blisters which were used for the crew to observe when they're looking for a down pilot or something.
Well, yes and no. This one's got a checkered career, though, hasn't it? They spent a lot of time not being used way across on the west coast of Canada, in Nanaimo, rescued, and it went off on a safari mission in Africa. I don't know if you recall that. And of course that's where those blister wingers really came in commercially useful in terms of observation. You're absolutely right. Observation fantastic. And of course they would spend hours and hours looking for downed airmen. And long before we had all these marvellous digital search and rescue beacons that talk to satellites, and they did the most amazing job. And I mean, they're terrific stories. There's one of, getting a Mustang pilot while they were there. They had an engine failure. They were then attacked by enemy Luftwaffe fighters, and they were bombing around in the middle of the ocean. Extraordinary service from these pilots.
I said that I saw her alight on the sea off Sunderland. Unfortunately, it was only after that I learned that there was actually a version that operated at night that was known as the Black Cats, because of course the Black Cats is the nickname of Sunderland Football Club, which I'd known that at the time.
But it's also a nickname in the Royal Navy as well.
Of course, black hatting.
Because
Tell us
black
what
hatting.
black hatting means.
Well, it's basically spoofing. It's getting one over on your chums.
Yeah.
And of course that's why the Navy team, they only fly one of the Wildcats now. They still keep that name, the Black Cats.
Yeah.
Famous stuff. But I think it's there's the endurance of this. You're talking very, very long missions in very unpleasant weather conditions, a long way from the coast, and you've got to have real confidence in your airframe manufacturer to do things like that, and then to land on the ocean, bobbing around. You can imagine how fearsome that is in a boat, let alone rescuing somebody and then having to take off again. Marvellous sight.
Clicking the Dunlops. So what was she doing up in Loch Ness? Do you know? I don't know the background to that.
I don't. It was a film, I think. I'm pretty sure it was film work, and of course that helps keep so many of these aircraft in the sky. And particularly they use the Duxford aircraft base an awful lot. So I mean, there's a huge number of vintage warbirds there as well. It's tremendous work. But it couldn't look better on a day like this. This is this terrific sight, blue sky, and this marvellous lumbering beast of an aircraft, which in many ways it's big, but it's elegant at the same time, because that wonderful sweep of the bottom side there, literally a boat-shaped aircraft.
strong lines, have strong cameras, may see the nose art mispick-up, which is based on that of the original aircraft. Shot up and sunk by a Luftwaffe Me-262 jet. View of the aircraft there, and you can see the blisters on each side of the fuselage.
Hi, it's Stu Bear from Airshow World, and I'm very proud to announce our sponsor, the Kent and Sussex Tea and Coffee Company. And for viewers of Airshow World, you can get 15% off from the world's best tea and coffee company. Plus, you'll be helping Airshow World grow. Just use the code Airshow. That's the Kent and Sussex Tea and Coffee Company. It certainly is, and definitely some of the best tea and coffee you will ever get. It is, and of course, 15% off as well. We've got more special offers coming up later in the show. But what about that? The Catalina. What an aircraft. Beautiful. And, tonight, you are going to see quite a few shots from the brilliant Midlands Air Festival. And I'm pretty sure by the end of it, you'll be booking the tickets because it is an absolute unique air show. It's in a brilliant location and it's right in the centre of England. So, hey, for anybody in the UK, it's easy to get to. But just before we get into the next feature, of course, we want to wish everybody a very happy new year. And it's great to be back with you. And very quickly, I'll say hi to a few people, saying hello and happy new year to Amy Wilson and Dave and Claire, all watching the show tonight. We have UHN 100, SHGP Media, Marcus Camfield, Peter Mark's with us, and also Gary Inge, Gilly and Peter, Marcus Camfield, Peter, I think we've already mentioned him, and our good friend Robert Feely. Now we've got some great videos from Robert coming up a little bit later. He's given me quite a task to capture again some wonderful old tapes, and you're going to see some of those a little bit later. Oh, and also over the weeks and months, and boy oh boy have we got some incredible video footage to be showing you. And also very quickly, who else can we say hello to before we get into the next feature? Hello to Gary Inge, our good friend there. Right, keep the messages coming in, and we'll keep the aviation show rolling because we don't call it the fastest aviation show for nothing. So hey, we better get a move on. And just before I do go into the next item, hi to Kevin as well. Nice to see you, Kevin. Okay, let's keep on moving. And right now we're going to stay for the moment with the Midlands Air Festival. This was taken from the very first time I actually went, and boy oh boy, I was absolutely hooked, and you're going to see why. The location is amazing. They have hot air balloons and a brilliant air show.
Team, the Red Arrows! Over the top in wall formation, the widest formation we fly in the Red Arrows. Red 1 calling the aircraft into 8 Arrow. Red 5 would be on the left wingtip, but not there today. As they peak over the loop at about 6,000 feet, the smokes come off. Red 1 squadron leader Tom Bold about to bend the formation to the right. Red 1 is a former Typhoon pilot, and he's instructed on the Tucano and the Hawk T2. He was formerly on the Red Arrows until 2017 and rejoined this year as the team leader. The smoke comes on as Reds 8 and 9 move back in the formation into our iconic Diamond. To the right of Red 1 in Diamond is Red 2, Flight Lieutenant Will Cambridge. Will is a former Tornado GR4 and Typhoon pilot in his second year on the team. In from the right-hand side in Diamond, the nose coming up, the smoke is about to come on. for the diamond roll. Red 1 using a very metronomic cadence in his commands, the pilot's reacting to the tone and rhythm of his voice rather than the movement of his aircraft. As the aircraft pull up to the vertical, Red 1 calls them into Fred. The aircraft moving forwards, changing formation as they go over the top of the loop, forming feathered arrow. On the left of Red 1 is Red 3, that's squadron leader Nick Critchell. He'd like to say hello to Matthew and Betty and all the family who are here at their first air show this year. Rich previously flew the Typhoon and was an instructor on the Hawk T2 before joining the Red Arrows. And roll, calls Red 1. Everyone putting their inputs in, reacting to the team leader's voice as we roll the very wide Big Vixen shape. Aboard, calls Red 9 very quietly as 8 and 9 start to roll around the rest of the formation. Watch now as Red 1 bends the formation to the left. The red and blue smoke comes on at 8 and 9. This is Tornado.
Hey, as always, great to see all the comments coming in. Saying hello to Webbo Webster. Hiya Webbo, nice to see you, my man. Stephen Billings. And also a very good Happy New Year to Maria Lane. How the devil are you? Good to know you're watching.
The aircraft pulling to the vertical, the white smoke on. Red 1 about to roll to the left. The aircraft coming over the top. Get your cameras ready for the hammer break. Break, break, go, calls Red 1 into the hammer. Now keep your eyes on the aircraft, staying low over the horizon. It's Red 6 and 7, being followed by Reds 8 and 9, tipping in for the first of their opposition passes.
And my mission for tonight is to convince you, wonderful people watching the show, that this is the air show to be at.
And he's in his 4th year on the team.
A little later this year,
in from the left and
the
right,
very last weekend of May.
7 and 9 for the spectacular Jippo Pass.
It's on the 31st, the 1st and 2nd of June.
Red 6 and 7 passing 100 feet apart, the red and blue smoke coming away from us as they roll and pull up from roller coasters to make way for the rest of the formation. Now in from the right hand side, Red 8, the white smoke on, turning hard across the front. The white smoke comes on, Red 6 and 7 pulling away from each other, starting their way down in the beautifully symmetrical heart. Keep your eyes peeled up to the top left for Red 9 as he descends steeply towards the heart, his white smoke about to come on to form the spear. Spearing the heart, Red 9 is squadron leader Steve Morris. Steve has previously flown the Harrier GR9, the Tornado GR4, and has instructed on the Hawk. Smoke on, ready for up barrel. At the bottom in line astern is Red 4. That's Flight Lieutenant James Turner. JT has previously flown the Typhoon and instructed on the Hawk. He's in his second year on the team. The aircraft have now moved into reverse battle. Normally odd numbers on the left, even numbers on the right. They're the wrong way round in this formation, so they're going to switch back to the right side through slalom. The aircraft back on their correct side now, and as a tribute to the NHS and the healthcare workers across the UK that have been fighting the pandemic throughout the last 2 years, Enid about to put the blue smoke on as they come past in battle. Here go again for 2 and 3 for their second rollbacks. Complete calls Red 1. The 4 members of Enid off to the right-hand side. Now, fix your gaze. The aircraft crossing feet away from each other, the chip over left and right, Red 6 and 7, about to barrel roll towards each other before crossing and rolling inverted in a new manoeuvre, the crossbow. Red and blue as they enter the double barrel roll to the left for the snake-like trail in the sky in Python. Red 1 at the front, Red 2, 3, 4 and 9 in formation in line abreast, a formation called Leader's Benefit. Red smoke comes on, Red 1 about to call them into the second roll. Enid go into the second of their barrel rolls. Red 6 and 7 are positioning themselves behind us in boomerang. Off to our left and right, look straight ahead. It's time for the display finale. Red 1 about to put the coloured smoke on. The nose lights coming towards us, ready for the spectacular Vixen break. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time this year, you've been watching the Red Arrow!
And coming up for you right now on Stu Bear's Airshow World, it's time to go way back in time with classic air shows. Well, we told you at the beginning of the show, been pretty busy capturing lots of tapes of Rob's, and enjoy this, the last ever display of the Buccaneers.
More than 11,000 pounds of thrust each. Here they come. Okay, absolutely very good. 30 knots. 40. Mine's good. Up to 15, 10, 10. 40 knots, gear down, 30, 20, 20. 210 knots. Last lap, the lane strike of the track system. Designated system. Tornadoes eventually got a thing called high on it, but that was only on the trial. So they used the Buccaneers to designate for the tornadoes, so the tornadoes would then drop the snap off.
Well, I tell you what, Marcus, you've got your very own time machine right here on Airshow World, and I promise you, over the coming weeks and months, we have got some amazing video footage coming your way. Brilliantly filmed by our very own Robert. And boy oh boy, I have been so busy this week capturing lots of tapes on that brilliant machine of mine that brings them back to life. Now, Robert, he'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this was filmed at Cranfield.
Still enough moisture in the air to produce those little trails from the wingtips.
And coming up in a moment, pay great attention to when the Lancaster comes into land. Don't forget, these videos, these were filmed around about 1994. And that's why I call these gold dust. Absolutely brilliant. Don't forget to pay attention to the Lancaster.
That's me. How you doing? This is your royal ruler, Tony Prince, and hi there. I'm at United DJs Radio, and you're watching the Airshow World with Stu Bear. Come fly with me sometime right here.
United DJs.
Boy oh boy, some brilliant footage there. Really enjoyed it. As I said, keep tuned over the weeks and months. We've got lots more coming. Right now though, at the start of the show, we saw this. Here's the full display. Of course, from the Midlands Air Festival. Where else?
We've already discussed this year's Flying the Flag delivery scheme.
It's the Royal Air Force Typhoon display, Blackjack.
Between the team and a Eurofighter enthusiast, Adam Johnson. Adam also designed the Gina livery for the 75th BOB anniversary, which you may remember. Again in from the right, he's going to conduct knife edge manoeuvring. At 9G, air is being forced into his G-suit, compressing his muscles, trying to keep the blood from draining from his head. Here's the on-crowd, gear down barrel roll. Back down the line. Setting up for the slow speed pass. Upping the Eurofighter ground speed to probably, as it's into wind, below 100 knots. It looks as though the aircraft's just hanging in the air. Nose held high, he's running 24. Back on the crowd on the 45. Half Cuban with 540 over volts. And then a half horizontal back down into the max rate turn. G turn, Sainty is unable to even lift his arms at all. And into the corkscrew. The Eurofighter has a hand-on throttle 6 system though, which means Sainty can complete at least safely control the aircraft even though he can't lift his arms. The G applied to his body will now make him weight equivalent to a Formula 1 racing car. Into the knife edge pass, then invert, and then push again. And it can be quite painful. On crowd back onto the B, into the quarter clover, Sainty's hardest manoeuvre. Technically difficult to get the exact 90-degree turn as he rolls into the right. Full back stick, burners on, he's going to exit the display. Back home to his Midlands. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the 2021 Royal Air Force Typhoon display.
That was superb, excellent.
And back in 2021 when I filmed that, it was the first time I went to the Midlands Air Festival. And we were lucky enough that particular weekend they decided to base themselves at East Midlands Airport. So this is a bit of a rare sight. 2 Typhoons coming into land at East Midlands Airport. And certainly something you don't see every day. As always, great to see all the comments coming into the chat room. And if you're watching this for the first time, hey, don't be shy. Join the party. Take part in the chat room. And if you can't see that, well, all you have to do, or if you can't write in there, all you have to do is just subscribe. Totally free. And within 1 minute, you'll be able to put a message into the chat. And I'll do my best to say hi, how you doing, and all that good stuff. But we've still got around about half an hour of great action still to come tonight. And as I said earlier in the show, my mission tonight is to convince you to get those tickets for the Midlands Air Festival. So many reasons, and we're going to show you a couple more coming up in just a moment. What a brilliant sight. So they came in on the Friday morning after doing a practice display back in 2021 at the Midlands Air Festival, and they stayed there all weekend, and on the Monday morning this was their departure. I remember that day so well. Such a beautiful, beautiful sunny Monday morning. In fact, the whole weekend was incredible that particular year at the Midlands. And this was on the Friday evening, where if the weather behaves itself on this Friday night, it was incredible. Each year they have around about 200 hot air balloons.
Because obviously we've got a deadline, we've only got 15 minutes left of the open field before we need to clear it and get some other aeroplanes to come in.
I love that.
And take off.
We'll be seeing a little bit more of the hot air balloons from the Midlands Air Festival a little bit later. But right now, sounding dramatic, looking amazing, here they are. It's the Airborne Pyrotechnics, and they will be at the Midlands Air Festival again this year. Thank you very much there, Graham. A very happy new year to you as well. Also, hi to Piotr, John Bullen, Marcus Camfield. Keep the messages coming in. And of course, UHN100 and everybody else enjoying the show. It's great to be back on a Friday night with you. And don't forget, you can also join us on a Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. and that's on Facebook. And of course, the Airshow World page. A very big thank you to everybody that watches on Facebook as well. It's gone absolutely amazing. It's only a couple of weeks, probably about 6 weeks ago, when I said we hit the 100,000 followers. Can you believe it? 135,000 of you. Amazing. Well, Graham, that's going to be quite a sight to see, isn't it, eh? Building the 132 scale F-15E. Hey, when you've done it, send some photographs across. Be good to see. As you can see, as the light starts to fade and it gets darker and darker at the Midlands Air Festival on the Friday night, the balloons go up first. Then we have a bit of flying with some pyrotechnics. And the show doesn't finish then. They have what they call the night glow, where they have the hot air balloons tethered. It's in total darkness, and they just light up the whole airfield to music. It's quite a sight. A happy new year, and hi to Carl Shield. Nice to see you as well. And these guys go literally all over the world.
Hello, my name is Matt Allwright from The One Show and Morning Live, Watchdog, Road Traders, all that stuff. And you're watching Airshow World with Stu Bear.
You certainly are. Thank you very much indeed, sir. Okay, what have we got coming up for you right now? We're going to stay with the Midlands Air Festival. And here's a real special for you. And I'll let the commentator tell you all about it.
Extensive restoration by the aircraft's finder, Peter Monk, known as Mr. Spitfire himself, because of the wonderful restoration jobs he does at the Biggin Hill Heritage Hangar. So yes, if you look closely, you will see Soviet red stars on this Spitfire, hence its name. It's also been christened Stalin Spitfire. It was one that was led. She is also a local lass, having been produced at the Vickers Armstrong factory at Castle Bromwich. That was on the 4th of August 1944 when she left that, and she was shipped via Murmansk to the 2nd Squadron of the 767th Regiment of the 122nd Division, I hope you're taking notes because questions will be asked, of the Russian Air Force, which was a Spitfire squadron. Unfortunately, she crashed during a dogfight in spring 1945 with just 29 hours on the airframe. Even giving us a nice topside view there. And thankfully being successful in purchasing her. The aircraft then returned to the UK by a circuitous route, and she was then acquired by Angie Soper, who very sadly passed away within the last couple of weeks. She was famous for her Yak 11 display. So what came to the UK was a complete, although crashed, aircraft with the fuselage, large sections of the wings. Peter also flies the only Mark 11 Spitfire photo reconnaissance version that's in the UK, and also the P-51 Mark. The finished articles often have variable numbers of original parts, but it's good. But Peter is a stickler for originality. And luckily has the passion and the funds to ensure that the aircraft are restored to as original a condition as possible.
From the Midlands Air Festival, and a little bit more coming up just a little bit later. But right now, we've got more warbirds. Gary Inge, you're going to love this. I know he loves Duxford.
Yes, here they go, scrambling off Duxford's runway, the Grumman FM2 Wildcat and the Curtis Hall 75.
Hey, it's my good friend Andrew Herbert, and a very happy new year to you as well, sir. Thank you for joining us. Always good to see you, my man.
But now, here come the Corsair and the Tomahawk.
Oh, some real classic warbirds. Love the Corsair. And still to come tonight, we've got more classic air shows, so stand by for that very soon.
Develop tactics better suited to countering Zero. The Corsair was able to outclass the Zero and other enemy fighters in most aspects of aerial combat. The US Marines employed it, of two US Army aircraft pursuit groups stationed in Hawaii at Wheeler Field and Bellows Field. It says something for the much more effective against it. So the Lockheed P-38 Lightning and the Grumman F-6M Hellcat were better still. The Curtiss P-36 Hawk, mid-1930s design, one of outstanding flying qualities, and ordered to quantity in the late 1930s. While the P-40 family was soon under development to replace it, some P-36s based at Pearl Harbor saw the type's sole combat in US service. They shot
And a quick mention to anybody that's watching this on a replay. I know Kevin watches this, and also Maurice Moon. Saying hi to Maurice. I know he'll be watching this a little bit later tonight. Because Maurice, he's my warbird expert. He's the man.
Somehow, one of those American fighters was successful countering the Japanese opponent. And with a wing rock, it admits defeat as we get ready to see some final flypasts from the P-40C, the Hawk 75, the Wildcat, and the Corsair.
Well, Graham, you can always get hold of me via stu@airshowworld.com. But certainly join us on the Facebook page. That's Airshow World. And hey, join us on Sunday afternoon from 3 o'clock.
Entire cities were destroyed, while others were left smoking and paralyzed. Millions of Japanese were forced to flee. In these final days of the war, air power and air power alone was bringing a nation to its knees.
In the Korean War of 1950 to 53 as night fighters and close air support platforms with the US Navy and Marine Corps. French naval aviation, the Aviation Naval, used them in Indochina, Suez, Algeria and Tunisia. And their last hurrah came in 1941. By the Hawk 75 at the controls of that was Brian Smith, and the beautiful silver P-40C Tomahawk from the Fighter Collection, also an aircraft that's appeared at a couple of recent Flying Legends displays, but not at one of the IWM shows at Duxford, marked up as pack aircraft for senior officers.
The wonderful sound of warbirds. Absolutely love it. Maurice, that was for you. And here's a couple more reasons to be at the Midlands Air Festival. Having a quick look at some of the special, huge, amazing balloons. Just look at some of these.
Right, so we've got our next balloons off the ground. As you can see, the general drifters are all starting to drift out towards the left-hand side of the field. There goes our big green meanie with all his little icons on board. And the ones that are taking off the far end of the field, at the right-hand side of the field, will obviously be coming down the field, and they'll obviously give you a flyby as they go. And actually, if they get it right, and you'll start to see a whole line of balloons now starting to inflate as well. There's some more over the back end of the field, and we'll start to get a whole field full of balloons for you. Once these ones at the front, beautifully.
Well, I hope this has given you a bit of a feel-good factor, thinking about summertime. On this awful, awful weather we have at the moment. Flooded everywhere.
And
in fact, over here, near East Midlands Airport, it is an absolute nightmare.
This is just all pre-show, really, because the night fire itself is a show that we put on when it gets darker. And we've got some fantastic night glow action for you, where we get some of these balloons when it gets darker. We set them to music and they burn like massive light bulbs.
If you see the fox coming towards you, he's obviously doing a really good job in keeping really close to the crowd. Obviously, once he gets to you, give him a big cheer.
Absolutely, Marcus.
He's looking to come
we have
right
the Saab Draken.
The field there. Cloud hoppers coming over.
And I believe that's displaying on the Sunday.
That end of the field, they'll be creeping down towards you.
And coming up for you right now on Stu Bear's Airshow World, it's time to go way back in time with classic air shows. And it's Classics Air Shows Part 2 for a Friday night, and this time we go back to the Alconbury Air Show.
First one out, detachments achieved. Ladies and gentlemen, Parachute Regiment Free Fall Team, the Red Devils.
This aeroplane, a two-seater, gliding this aeroplane through the sky. Of some 600 miles.
Absolutely, Andy, it's a nightmare around here. In fact, my daughter got stuck in the floods in her car, and unfortunately it's totally written it off. It's if last year was bad, this year started off not too good, but hopefully we can put a smile on your faces on a Friday night.
£100 thrust. Top speed of the Canberra in its bomber roll up at 45,000 feet, nearly 6 branch, and the aircraft used for radar and other trials. And if you look closely at the nose, you'll see all sorts of little warts and pimples which are holding various sensors used in the There, the raspberry ripple finish, the red, white and blue. And along the right this afternoon, but normally he would be checking on equipment manufactured by his company. Here now, the Canberra, 64-foot wingspan, well, more than half an inch. And an all-up weight of about 55,000 pounds. About 200 miles an hour.
What a gentleman you are. Thank you so much for that. Really kind donation from John Bullen.
And there the Canberra, illustrating its manoeuvrability, its tight turn. 360 degrees, right around the top.
Yes, fortunately at East Midlands Airport we are on quite high ground here, but the River Trent is literally just down the road. So as you go downhill, you follow the River Trent, there's the River Soar, it all merges, and it is an absolute nightmare at the moment. It's so bad, I can't even get to Long Eaton. Can't go to Clifford's.
Down the side of the runway. Then an attack high in the sky. You can see the wings lifting.
And you don't see a U2 display very often.
Big black aeroplane coming speed on the starvation diet. Flying very, very steeply. We'll wait for the CR1 single flyby and pass from left to right.
There is a safe cannon, age 8, at the children crossing down to return to the leader over there.
Well, thanks very much then, Marcus. Yeah, she's okay. But unfortunately, the car is a complete write-off. For around about 5 hours, she was waist deep. Well, started off knee deep in water, but it just came down so quickly. It flooded like you wouldn't believe. She ended up being waist deep in it. It was awful. And a 5-hour wait. What a nightmare for her.
Welcome along to our brand new YouTube channel, The Travelling Bear with Stu Bear. We'll be taking you to some amazing locations while we travel around. We have scenic videos with relaxing music, cycling adventures, camping locations, and some great documentaries, plus lots more. So join us on the Travelling Bear with Stu Bear YouTube channel and subscribe for free right now.
Hey, don't forget to subscribe. The link is under the video right now.
Timing. Split-second timing. Heart rate gets faster. Just for a moment, time stands still. Top pilots use split-second timing, pulling G-forces with precision and perfect timing. That's why the world's best display pilots put their trust in Swiss precision timing with avionic watches, and you can be part of this world with perfect timing. Airshow World are proud to offer you 20% off ladies' or gentlemen's avionic watches. This offer is exclusive to Airshow World. Click the link or see the website at Avionic Watches and use the code of Airshow World. Remember, timing is everything with Avionic Watches.
Hi, it's Stu Bear from Airshow World, and I'm very proud to announce our sponsor, the Kent and Sussex Tea and Coffee Company. And for viewers of Airshow World, you can get 15% off from the world's best tea and coffee company. Plus, you'll be helping Airshow World grow. Just use the code Airshow. That's the Kent and Sussex Tea and Coffee Company. Oh, Andrew, thank you so much. Andrew Herberts, thank you for that amazing donation. And to everybody tonight, thank you so much for joining us. I'll see you next Friday on YouTube. But if you'd like to see more, join us on Sunday afternoon for a rerun of the show. But I will be here doing all the live chat and everything else. And that's going to be on Facebook. Facebook, 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, and every Sunday afternoon. I do that because there's so many followers now on there. I do that as a thank you to all you fantastic followers on Facebook. So thank you if you watch that as well. But for tonight, thank you. And as we said at the top of the show, a very happy new year to everybody. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's hope the weather improves. It's supposed to get drier, and let's hope the floods start to dissipate, because boy oh boy, it is not good around here whatsoever. I can't go to these saunas. It's driving me mad. Sorry about that. Okay, that's it for tonight. I will see you Sunday, if not then, next Friday night. And keep your eyes open. Lots of new videos coming out. And a big thank you to Rob. Wow, those videos are absolutely incredible. So thank you. Until next time, have yourself a great weekend. Have yourself a great rest of your Friday night. Thank you, and a very, very big, special good night to you. Good night.